episode of Queerspace TV. We're on episode 3, and this is the LA-based show K-Series, an online broadcast that provides a platform for the amazing LGBTQIA+, POC queer artists,
while also celebrating the darker side of queer identity in the community and worldwide. We are your hosts, and tonight we have a very special, incredible guest for you today.
Our next guest is a superstar in every sense of the word. She's a performer, model, actress, living legend, musician, performance artist. I could go on. It's Ms. Neon.
Thank you. I know you are, but what am I?
Thank you so much for doing this.
God, thank you for having me.
How has it been just, working as an artist during this unprecedented time?
I'm fucking loving it, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a great opportunity for me to just really transcend reality and experiment with a lot of things that I've been wanting to do and didn't have the time to prior, and just really leaning into my total creative psychosis. I think it's really a shifting of the whole paradigm of a lot of things as well, and
I think
there's a light and a shadow side to it, like everything. It's definitely been very challenging, but I'm very grateful for that as well.
Yeah, I think in this time of crisis, it's kind of given everyone, really, not just artists, the freedom and the permission to do the things that they've always wanted to do, because with a virus, you're kind of met with our mortality in a way. And so maybe do you think that is catapulting you to just do the things you've always wanted to work on,
Yeah, it's definitely at first, when it was first starting and I was getting ready to release a full-length record and it wasn't finished yet, and I was just let me just release this in portions. I'm gonna do an EP now. And then, I don't know, I could die tomorrow. I don't want to just have this work not out there. Yeah, now I just dropped my first episode of my new podcast, which is something I've been wanting to do for a wicked fucking long time.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the name of your podcast?
It's called The Neon Pill.
Awesome.
First episode was Chaos
Yeah,
Reigns.
Chaos Reigns.
That's right.
So it was really a very scary threshold for me to cross. And I've never felt better about it, and I'm just glad that I now I feel like I can keep it up, and a transcendental memoir.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of cute.
Sounds
Then eventually I'm
amazing.
going to have interviews, and
Nice.
yeah, it's cool that we're both kind of starting something like this at the same time.
Yeah, it's perfect
really
timing.
I think it's an exciting time for artists. And everyone, really, just start something new, do something fucking take some risks.
I think we've all been afforded this it's a tragedy what's happening, but we've all been afforded this kind of blessing to use the time the way we want to choose to use it.
Yeah.
A lot of us, maybe as artists, also have jobs, and never really had time to split between having that job and then being who we are at night performing. Now we have the time to work on our garages or work on our, our journals, or just do other things that mean a lot to us. And so I think it's really cool. Also, it gives us that time to really explore other mediums and things of that nature. So that's awesome that you're jumping into that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, was music, was that kind of the original art form that you have worked in, or did you start in other art forms, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing music since I was very young, probably since I was in 8th grade, on a 4-track and an analog sequencer to age myself a little bit. Like Quentin Crisp always said, I never had to come out because I was never in. So my queerness was always visibly a thing. But when I became old enough to discover rock and roll and goth rock and industrial and punk rock and all this stuff, I was like, oh, like that's kind of a place where I feel like I could be myself. The other part of doing music that I love so much is that it's inherently multimedia, and as someone who has a lot, like I've been doing photography since I was very young as well, and I do all my own photography for my album covers and a lot of my press stuff. So it's a way for me to work in a lot of the other mediums that I do into something like kind of as a whole package.
Yeah,
deal,
absolutely.
I suppose.
And now with the podcast, you're expanding that even more, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I guess so.
Now we're going to cut to our reporters on the field, Lucian and Peter.
Have you guys at home ever wondered about those happy pills you see displayed at the liquor stores behind? We have Rhino, Rhino XL, Maximum, Miracle Zen. Well, our reporters at Queerspace TV are putting their lives on the line for you, for sexual health, sexual freedom, and sexual liberation. We're giving you only the best tests and reviews of all of these amazing products. So check it out. Hello everyone, and welcome to this very special product review brought to you by Queerspace TV. My name is Peter.
My name is Lucian Am.
We are here to test the horny Rhino male enhancement medication.
66,000
Yes, like Rhino in hell. It's almost like Dante's Inferno.
Right, or maybe emerging from hell to bring you good news.
Well, these are the pills we are talking about. You can walk in and purchase them from convenience stores around town with no problem. But the big question is, do you even know what's inside of them?
If you've been to a convenience store lately, you've seen them. They're usually behind the counter, and they promise 100% genuine sexual satisfaction. But are these pills really safe?
We have had people that have suffered very serious emergency surgeries and requiring penile replacement surgeries.
Robert Taller's law firm has filed a lawsuit against 15 Shell convenience stores in our area. Attorneys claim these easily accessible pills contain the main ingredient in Viagra, which is only legally available with a prescription. The FDA doesn't regulate pills like this because they're classified as dietary supplements. But officials there are also warning customers not to buy these Rhino brand pills. They're manufactured overseas and are sold under several different names.
The right answer in my mind is if you're having issues with these things, go talk to your physician about it.
Emergency medicine physician Dr. Eric Antonsen says there's no way for customers
Dude!
Problems that you have,
Should we just
and not
snort
catching
it?
things that need to be
Oh god,
diagnosed
that's a
and
trip to the
in
hospital.
an appropriate manner.
I am having second thoughts. I gotta say, the thing that really threw me for a loop was when they said penile replacement.
surgery.
Like,
Oh no.
what did it do to these people's penises? Also, yeah, I also want to bring, this is something to think about. This is, I mentioned this before, this is FDA registered. It says this in the bottom left corner. Now, I've never heard of this designation. Most people have heard of things that are FDA approved. What this sounds like to me is that Rhino is trying to get approved, but not.
Yeah, okay, so we found Samson Pharmaceuticals Inc. website, and there's a phone number here, so we thought we'd call them and ask them some questions.
Yeah.
Just, you know, our curiosity about the product.
Curiosity.
So.
20 minutes later.
Okay, so these are all the products they have. This is just really interesting though. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good.
I'm just wondering, your company is the one that produces like the Rhino, like all the male enhancement pills, right?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, cool. We were thinking about like getting some. They're like, are they good?
I wouldn't know.
Have you guys heard of any like weird side effects that people have had when using the products? Should
I haven't heard anything.
Okay, so
Nobody has called.
okay, so we shouldn't have anything to worry about.
No.
Oh.
No. We haven't received anything weird or anything, you know.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, have a good one.
Eat it.
Oh my god!
Dude,
What? Dude,
everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Nothing to worry about here.
Absolutely nothing at all. She has heard nothing about lawsuits, has heard nothing about arsenic or about penile replacements. Oh, that is not what I thought it was going to look like.
Oh no! That we have all been experiencing the amazing horny rhino for the past few hours, and we're not really. I don't think we should tell them exactly what went down and what we did, but
True.
it was really fun.
It was like pretty much like I felt like it was like this really watered down Adderall. I did have a lot of stamina. I think what could be improved is if they put the rat poison out of the mixture. And the arsenic, I'm kind of like not down for that.
It had a little,
It's
kind of tangy.
That hint of gasoline, I tasted that.
It was high end.
So presentation, packaging, we love.
I love the packaging.
We love the packaging.
Oh my god,
it's great.
It's like this rhino. He just looks really sexy.
Big rhino,
just coming out of hell.
Coming straight out of hell. You can see the wall of flames.
It's kind of scary, and I do think that like we can continue this investigation in order to, bring sexual health to, its
and education.
Potential. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So stick around, stay tuned for the next episode of The Dick Adventures with Peter and
Lucian.
So in 2019, there was a beautifully made documentary put out by Paper Magazine and directed by Adam and Derek Emanuel called Miss Neon. And it kind of just covers your beginnings, your origins. How was that experience? Can you talk to us about that?
It was amazing. I've never felt so like seen before. It was really so validated. I mean, seeing the final product of that, I was just like, oh wow, I've never seen my life in like through the eyes of someone else, and it was really humbling. And working with Derek and Adam was such an amazing experience. They were so respectful and so cool, and I was so honored that they wanted to work with me. I mean, their work is incredible. Everyone should check it out. And it was an amazing experience. And
it sounds like it was a very like transformative time for you. So regarding the rap, do you have many rap influences for your music, or is it more rock centric?
Well, I grew up listening to a lot of rap and hip hop. I mean, Lil' Kim, it's probably obvious.
Hell yeah.
She's like, I always say she's like the Courtney Love of rap.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like Kim and Biggie were like the Kurt and Courtney
Such
of
a
rap.
rebel.
Yeah.
Always with her tits out.
So she was like the first real, rap artist that was like, I was like obsessed with. And I got to meet her a couple times when I was in New York.
That's sick.
I used to work at this shop called Patricia Field, which is a legendary store. And I was like fresh off the boat from Boston, 19 years old, working there. And who comes in at the very end of the day while we're closing the gate but Lil' Kim.
Wow.
And I was so starstruck.
Yeah.
And she is literally, I'm 5'4.5", not in heels, and she came up to like here on me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I love Lil' Kim. Biggie is the best rapper of all time. Sorry, I know I'm on the West Coast, but Dead Prez, I fucking love. I saw them in concert. Still have the t-shirt. Actually, I wore on the cover of my single Cop Fucker. The t-shirt I'm wearing is from a Dead Prez concert from like
dope.
2001. So, yeah,
That's sick.
I mean, I love Jay-Z's. I mean, I mostly grew up listening to rap of like the late 90s and early 2000s. MF Doom, Too Short.
Yeah, rest in peace, MF
fucking-
Doom.
He died?
Yeah.
Fuck.
It kind of just
Yeah,
happened,
like a few
and
months
like
ago.
it just like came out like a couple months after it happened. I think it was in October of last year. It was so
God
sad.
damn it, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Definitely have a lot of rap. 3 6 Mafia for sure. It's
Oh
a
my
huge one.
God.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
All the
Yes.
you know, LeChat and like all those Project Pad and like all that shit.
Like, yeah, DJ Paul. And
DJ Paul, Koopsta, all that
dude,
stuff.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The
No.
Devil's Playground by Koopsta is like
Fuck
one of
yeah.
the best fucking rap albums ever.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they were serving like satanic shit, and
Yeah.
like I was so into it. So those are most of my like root influences, and I kind of didn't. I don't know. I listened to so much. After that, I was mostly just listening to like crusty, old, obscure punk rock, new wave, industrial, like metal, black metal, like all these other kinds of genres of music from antiquities. And when I started rapping, I realized how out of touch I was with like modern music, and especially rap music. And I felt like that was kind of like a good reason to start doing it, because I wasn't really influenced by anything, and I just kind of wanted to take all of my influences, but mostly come at it from like a punk rock place.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, you know, Public Enemy is a punk rock band in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So
It's all in the attitude
Yeah.
or like how you live your life, I believe. Punk is like culture, you know?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I truly wanted to do something that wasn't pigeonholed into a genre, and I felt like rapping, kind of ironically, really allowed me to experiment with a lot more musicality. I felt like I was getting a bit pigeonholed in like the synth pop and Italo disco and high energy kind of world, which I love. I mean, that's punk rock in and of itself, but it's, yeah. And then I've really like come to be like immersing myself in a lot more contemporary music, and there's so much fucking amazing stuff going on. I mean, you are one of probably my modern influences. And
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
But like,
stop.
I don't know. I mean, there's just like a zeitgeist of new blood that
Yeah, there's
you know is really inspiring, and I love being part of the now. I'm so
Totally.
done with romanticizing the past. I think it's great.
wow.
It's good to be in the here and now, and I'm glad to be doing something new. And
Yeah, well, that was kind of like the genesis of us doing this show too, was to just like reconnect with all those people that are like making stuff right now, you know, that
I was just gonna say something about New York versus LA, that it was like, it was really wild when I was there, and it got more conservative over time, and I felt like during that time that the zeitgeist was sort of de-escalating for the arts in a lot of ways. I really felt like it was coming up in LA.
Yeah.
And I feel like the underground culture was obviously always here, but it wasn't as accessible as New York. Like I feel like it takes a little longer for you to kind of like get to know everyone and get to find out where everything is. And I just think that the zeitgeist really shifted for like explosion of new art and culture was here, and I was like, I had to do it. I had to make the switch.
yeah.
In 2017, I was brought out here with the voluptuous horror of Karen Black and Kembra Fowler to play guitar with her. Well, it wasn't the full band. It was
That's so
Kembra
sick.
Fowler and the Girls of Karen Black, and I filled in on guitar for a few performances at the Printed Matter art fair and at the Echoplex.
What like an amazing collaboration to work with Kembra Fowler. Like,
Oh my God.
that's so sick.
It's like, yeah, like a childhood dream come true.
Yeah.
I call her the Statue of Liberty of New York. Like she, if she ever leaves, like New York is officially over.
Yeah.
She is, I can't even say enough amazing things about her. We did a song together that only came out on cassette, actually with a LA label. I don't know if they're still around, Records Ad Nauseum.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They released, oh right, Luca knows them. They released a single that is called Leg Avenue, and Kembra sings on it, and I actually played it was like not live drums. We didn't have a drummer at that moment. Yeah, so it was like a Youthquake track, and Anna, our bass player, actually wrote like the main riff and most of the song, and we were just fucking around, and Kembra sang on it, and it's great. She's really given me so much validation, like so much. She's
That's
kind of like a
awesome.
mother figure, honestly.
That's so awesome. I mean, you have like a really amazing list of collaborations under your belt, and most recently you came out with the track Cop Fucker with Lydia Lunch. I mean, Lydia Lunch, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how that collaboration happened?
Well, if Kembra is my mother figure, then Lydia is truly my father figure. And I am lucky, truly lucky enough to say that, and I call her daddy affectionately. That came about from just having organically met. I mean, I've been a fanboy of hers. So I might be a girl, but I'm still a fanboy. Since I was like 13 or something.
Yeah.
I had seen Teenage Jesus do their reunion show tour a couple years before, and I was always just like, oh my God, Lydia's, I don't even know if I was always just like wanting to meet her, but was terrified of her, as everyone like is and should be. And when I met her, she was just so warm and welcoming, and like, the irony of that whole situation was I had become friends with Courtney Love through like a mutual friend.
Wow.
And we were hanging out a lot, and I know that like Lydia is like Courtney's idol.
Right.
So I was hanging out with Courtney like the night before the Lydia show. And I was like, Courtney, I'm going to see Lydia perform tomorrow night. Do you want to come with me? And she was like, no. I'm terrified of her.
Oh my God, I know, because she'd rip her a new one.
And then like, obviously like, Lydia was like stirring it up and like talking shit about Courtney on stage. It was just so funny. It was just like, wow, I don't even know. To be caught in the middle of that was really, really funny.
That's like some OG like grunge drama, like grunge beef.
We famously would like make out in public all the time.
Oh, that's hot.
Hot.
So that's kind of why I started calling her daddy. When I started this new project, I had this idea of sampling Afraid of Your Company for like years. And then, but I never had done it, and then I thought it was a perfect track to sample for this song. And then I played it for her, and to get her permission, cleared the sample and all that stuff. I was so nervous, but she really, really loved it, and I was like, oh my God, yes. And then I was just like, do you want to be on it? Like, would you want to like drop a vocal on it, you know? And she was like, yeah, and she just did it and sent it to me, and then
So cool.
that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So dope. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Truly an honor, really an honor.
Yeah, and it is really cool, kind of that Lydia, you know, does have a lot of recognition that she rightfully deserves. Because, I mean, I remember the first time when I heard Teenage Jesus, I was like, holy fuck.
Terrified.
Like, this is, like, yeah, amazing.
In the best way.
Yeah, so, yeah.
That's when I know I really love something, is when it like scares me. And
Yeah.
that's when I started rapping, my first song I ever wrote for this new project was Pussy Stick, and the chorus, what you know about chicks with dicks, and I recorded that, and I listened back, and I was like, I got really scared, and I was like, am I saying this? Like, am I doing that? Like, there's no going back. Once I say that, there's like, not that I was ever in the closet, but I'm like, there's no going back.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck yes. Like, this is the way. It just jolted me, and it made me sort of see myself as that archetype that I've always looked up to, and it was so validating. And my mentor in New York, Flawless Sabrina, who passed a few years ago, always instilled these quotes into me, and one of them was, "You are the person you've been waiting for."
So now, you know, that we've been through one of the craziest years in human history, now we've entered 2021, what are you like most looking forward to this year and this paradigm shift, like you said?
The locusts raining down from heaven. I'm really just excited for the fucking death of the status quo to like actually happen, and for the liberation of everyone. And I mean everyone, because I think this is going to be, it's going to be very difficult, but I truly in my heart believe that this is like going to save humanity, because I think everyone is realizing how puppeteered they are.
Totally.
You know, like we know, the people that have always been, like on my podcast, whatever, the outsiders we've always known that the shit doesn't work. And now we're seeing like people that thought that it, you know, oh, well, I'm part of the status quo. Well, that never worked for them either. They just thought it did. And so I think that the veil is being lifted.
Totally.
In certain, you know, concisely speaking. So I'm really excited to see and experience and be a part of this new fucking world. And I've
absolutely,
as long as I can remember, I've had dreams about the apocalypse, and I've had dreams about the end of the world, and it's not, there's the whole fantasy of like Mad Max and all that shit, but that's not how I ever viewed it.
Right.
I always viewed it as, for lack of a better word, the ascension, or like the moving into of a higher place for humanity. And I feel the consciousness shifting.
Absolutely.
And it's really, even just speaking to people in my family, or I love talking to people that are very different than me, and getting to hear how they're feeling. And I think that's something that I would encourage more discourse between people that are very different, especially ideologically or politically, because I think that divide is seemingly very divisive right now, but I think that it has to work through that. Things have to get worse before they get better. So as all this chaos is happening, I'm just like, yes, finally, like, like the shift is happening, the complacency is going.
Yeah.
I never felt like I belonged in the world. The world never made sense to me. This makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm a chaos magician. I'm a chaos person. I get chaos. And this makes sense to me. So I feel like this world will start to make more sense for more people, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, the only way out is through.
Exactly.
So
I love that quote.
And so with that, you know, thank you so much for doing this, Neon. Like,
thank you guys. Oh my God.
Catch Neon's record, Queen Hyena, featuring Copfucker with Lydia Lunch. And yeah, do you have anything else you want to plug?
Oh, just my podcast, The Neon Pill. It just came out on YouTube, and it's on Spotify, and it's going to be on all the major platforms probably by the time this airs. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
Meow.
Yay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, the pleasure's
Neon.
all mine. All mine.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Queerspace TV with Peter
And Lelani.
and Ms. Neon.
Meow. I love you all.
See you next time.
Bye.